Did you know your rising sign has a chart ruler, and the chart ruler has a chakra associated with it? Today, this is part 2 of our Chakra and Astrology series, where we go over which specific chakra is associated with your chart ruler / your rising sign, what it looks like when it becomes dysregulated, and what you specifically need for your rising sign in order to tend to your core need. Today, we are talking about Taurus, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, Pisces, and Scorpio risings. Stick around to find out how to keep your chakras regulated and signs and symptoms that they might be out of balance.
You're listening to The Holistic Ritual, a podcast for holistic-minded humans seeking mind, body, spirit integration. Hosted by Kamela Celeste, holistic health coach, meditation teacher, and astrologer. With over a decade of experience guiding transformation and whole person healing, you're invited into the practice of ritual and guided meditation for nervous system regulation and soul-aligned clarity. Blending ancient wisdom with science-backed practices, this space supports you in releasing, renewing, and reconnecting with your own inner guidance. Cultivating a sanctuary you can return to again and again as your own holistic ritual. Without further ado, let's get into the episode.
Hello and welcome back. I am your host, Kamela Celeste. Last time you were here with me, we covered Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Gemini, and Virgo risings. So if you are one of those rising signs, head to part 1 to check that out. Also, if this is the very first part of the chakra series you are listening to, I go over some of the history of how the chakras in astrology came to be associated with each other and the chakra system as a whole, and how it is an ancient Hindu and Tantric tradition that started in South Asia. So today's episode, I just want to get right into it, and I want to pull a different affirmation for you if you are returning. Today, I will be pulling from my Magical Messages deck. And by the time this episode is released, I am probably 1 week out from my trip abroad to go study astrology at Oxford. I could not be more excited to further develop my astrological knowledge. It's something that I have been self-taught for the last 10 years, and I couldn't be more excited to be studying at Oxford University. Our affirmation for today is, and suddenly all the possibilities, opportunities, and inspiration will sparkle all around you. Stay open. And on the front of this card, we have a beautiful woman with blue-black hair, and she has some sort of sparkle pathway coming out of her crown chakra and pouring into this brain that she's just holding in her hand. And on the other side of her hand coming out of it is this beautiful rainbow, which is really fascinating. So I'll just give you a little preview of that. And I just love this deck so much. Magical Messages from the Universe by Alexis Raccoon. This affirmation really just solidifies how fast life can change from 1 minute to the next. You can be totally in a different position, and the next minute, the most auspicious, wonderful miracles, goodness, good fortune lands in your lap. If you have been down lately on your situation or a specific circumstance that maybe you feel like you are stuck with, things can change in an instant. While there is real struggle and grief and tragedy, definitely not to bypass any of that, but to know that life comes at you in seasons. And just because you are in a tough season, or you are in a period where things are uncertain, are holding more uncertainty than usual. One of my girlfriends recently, we were talking about uncertainty, and she said that life is one big uncertainty. And it is true. But things can change in an instant. And so stay open, let your heart stay open to that, as hard as it may be sometimes. Okay, I think that was just the cutest little message for us today. I have my kitty, Kylo, sleeping right next to me, so you might hear him scurry off eventually. I don't have any astrological update for you. As I said in my last episode, each of the eclipses, the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse that we are having this August. So those will be coming soon, and we will discuss all of the other astrology that has been happening around that time. But for today, just a quick reminder, everything here today will be based on your rising sign, not your sun sign. And I am also working from modern rulership in terms of planets. If you don't know your rising sign yet, that just means you probably don't know the time that you were born. So until you get that, I would just go by your sun sign. But your rising sign will be the most accurate information if you have access to the time you were born. And then another reminder that I want to carry over from part 1 is the planet to chakra pairing is nothing new. It has an unclear origin. And so this is my own integrated version of how it is all connected and existing in each of the rising signs for Western astrology. So if your rising sign is in part 2, I still think it's beneficial to go listen to part 1. At least all of the things before I get into the specific rising signs. And then afterwards, I also have a little mini ritual if you would like to do that one too. Getting right into the chakras, our first chart ruler that I want to go over is Venus. Libra and Taurus risings are ruled by the planet Venus. While Venus does rule both of these rising signs, it does show up a little bit differently. So I wanted to go through the signs individually. So for Taurus rising, your sacral chakra, this is pleasure, sensation, creativity. The core need for you is to be resourceful and to be productive and also getting tangible results. That's really important for you. You build slowly, but you also build to last. For Libra risings, Venus sits with the heart chakra. So this is governing connection, balance. The core need for you is to relate to others and create harmony, real, non-performative harmony. So when the sacral or the heart chakras become blocked, Taurus is going to feel this as pelvic tension and blocked creativity. So it is a stuckness in the body that mirrors a stuckness in life or a stuckness from moving forward in life. Libra feels this as heart tension or self-doubt. So coming back looks like hip openers and mirror work to reconnect with your own sensation and your own worth. Self-pleasure or things that just engage with simple pleasures in general. Cacao, warmth, different textures. Taurus also rules the 5 senses, so getting those things involved rather than trying to overthink your way back into your body. You need to feel it in your body. You can't think your way back to your body all the time. You need to feel that connection to the heart and the sacral chakras. Any type of chest openers to help open up this area. Also, working with your own energy and moving it, putting a hand over your heart, breathing into your heart will also help. Any type of dance that gets the hips going, even just free form hip dancing. Hip-centered dancing is what we'll call that. Yeah, definitely look into those practices to help to bring these chakras back into alignment. Your anchor here is I am worthy of receiving. Cancer rising, you are ruled by the moon. The moon is associated with the heart and the sacral chakras as well. But your core need underneath everything, Cancer, is to give and receive emotional warmth and security. You feel everything. And surprisingly, you are also built to hold feeling for other people too. Sometimes that can be overdone at the expense of your own feelings. So coming back and regulating these 2 chakras here are doing some lymph massage to help move everything through your body, especially any stuck emotions, womb or belly breathing to reconnect with your sacral, and then just doing actual cozy rituals, building them into your day, something that is private, something that is just for you though, and then giving your emotions their own space to be felt, to be seen, to be articulated. And this is where journaling here can be very helpful for you. The anchor for you here is I am held and my needs matter. Next, we have Capricorn risings. As you all probably know, I am also a Capricorn rising. So this one is personal, but we are Saturn ruled. We are a Saturn ruled sign. Yes, this can be associated with lots of hard lessons, as we like to call Saturn, Daddy Saturn, the planet of lessons, and more like an authoritarian type of planet. It can show up that way for sure. But Saturn is also the builder. It is legacy. It is the long term, the long haul. And Saturn is a very karmic sign. So we are blessed with this. If we are on our best behavior, karma will always take care of things for us. We need not worry about anybody who wrongs us because Saturn is going to take care of it. But as Saturn is our ruling planet, the chakra associated with Saturn is the root chakra. Our core need underneath everything, Capricorn, is structure, organization, and discipline. We need these things. We build things that last. We take responsibility seriously, sometimes a little too seriously. And when our root chakra is out of balance, it doesn't always look like laziness. It could also look like rigidity. So this can be felt through cold limbs, low back and knee tension, and also hyper independence, just wanting to do everything ourselves. We don't need anyone else's help, but we do. And this stems from feeling like asking for support feels a little less safe than just doing it ourselves. So coming back and regulating ourselves can look like grounding walks, body weight, or intuitive movement to remind our bodies it's allowed to move without being productive about it. It can just free flow move whenever it wants to. Intuitive dancing can be really helpful, just turning on music and just dancing to whatever. A night out where you are shaking some ass, like get out there, do more intuitive movement to help balance your root chakra, to help balance yourself in general. And then giving yourself structure. Writing out your core values so the structure isn't trapping you though. Also contrast therapy too. So cold therapy can be very healing as well. Now, bringing in my holistic health coach lens through this, fun fact, women actually don't need ice baths in terms of cold exposure, cold therapy. Taking a shower and just like running the cold water, slightly colder than lukewarm, that works for our bodies because when it's too cold, the female body can actually just like shut down. So make sure it's not too cold if you're going to do cold exposure or cold therapy. Our anchor is I am safe to be supported. Pisces risings, you are ruled by Neptune. The chakras associated with Neptune are the third eye chakras and the crown chakra. The core need for Pisces rising underneath everything is to commit to a dream or an ideal. You are wired for imagination, intuition, and any kind of spiritual openness that most signs do not carry as naturally. When the third eye or the crown chakras become dysregulated, it can show up as brain fog, spiritual exhaustion, or escapism, feeling like you are drifting out of your body or your own life, and you are going with emotions instead of actually being fully present and moving with it. So regulating these chakras can look like sound healing to bring you back into your body through vibration, resting, that's actually deep rest, rather than it being a form of checking out, and grounding meditations to help keep your crown chakra open and connected to spirit, to source. Any type of somatic tapping on your crown chakra and your third eye to help connect with these points and chakras in the body can also be very helpful. Your anchor is I am clear, I am grounded, and I am connected. Scorpio rising, your chart ruler is Pluto. The chakras associated with Pluto are the sacral and the root chakras. The core need for you, Scorpio, is deep involvement and intense transformation. You are a sign of depth. Surface level was never gonna be enough for you. you are built to go underneath things, to excavate. So when the root and the sacral chakras are out of balance, it can show up as pelvic pain, control patterns, and disassociation. So gripping onto something tighter just to feel safe. But it doesn't necessarily mean it is the right thing. Or you could also just completely check out entirely. When the intensity gets to be too much to hold consciously for you, it can be overwhelming. It can be an overload to hold that deeply of some things. So regulating these chakras, getting them back into alignment, looks like any type of hip release work to move some of these deeper things through you. Our hips and our fascia is where we also store trauma in the body. Trauma-informed breath work can also really help for you. And then doing shadow work or shadow journaling to really dive into your own depths and to let it move completely through you and out of you. So actually taking a look at all of the things you would rather not look at instead of just tiptoeing around it. That can really bring you back into balance, back into alignment, is through, not around. The anchor for you is I release the weight of what is no longer mine to carry. And that is our full chakra series. For today's ritual, I wanted this to be also something very short and sweet, but we are going to collectively activate all of our chakras. And so while this might be a little bit more active than you have the capacity for at the moment, if you are kind of just listening to this and moving throughout your day, if you are at a place to participate and do so safely, please feel free. But we're just going to do some simple tapping on all of our chakras to integrate them, to integrate all of this energy. As you do have a chart ruler, and it does play a humongous part in your astrology and in your life, we also have all of the signs within us and all of the planets and all of the chakras we have within us as well. So before we close out, I would just like to softly ground for a second. So wherever you are, placing your feet firmly against the floor or the surface underneath you. Placing your tailbone firmly against whatever you are sitting on. If you're standing, just your feet then. And sitting or standing up nice and tall. Allowing your chest to just open. And take your palms and face them outwards in front of you so that your shoulders and your chest can open up just a little bit more. And then from here, if you are just listening, continue to listen as I move through each of the chakras. So for our root chakra, feeling our feet, our tailbone cemented to the surface beneath us. And remembering you are safe. Tapping on your sacral chakra, more so right underneath your belly button. Taking your hands, you can tap gently, just like this, underneath your belly button, on your pelvis. And to say, I am seen. And then moving your tapping to just above your belly button, kind of in the center of your stomach, for our solar plexus chakra, and saying, I feel all my emotions. Tapping, I am confident and I am filled with joy. And then moving to the center of your heart chakra, tapping, I am loved and I have so much love to give. And then moving to your throat, tapping. I speak my truth and honor all the things I have to say. And then on your third eye chakra, tapping right in the center of your head. I connect with my intuition. I connect with my wisdom so that I may have clarity. And then lastly, moving to your crown chakra and tapping ever so gently and lightly on the top. I am connected with spirit, or source, the divine, and my angels. And then just sit here in this moment, breathing in, breathing out. Thank you so much for joining me today, for learning a little bit more about your chart ruler and the chakras that are specific to you and your rising sign. I hope you leave here feeling more calibrated, more refreshed, and I just want to thank you for taking the time to do this little mini practice with me. If you haven't already, you can find me on Substack. I have been doing weekly writing over there. Sometimes they are related to what we were talking about here on the podcast, and sometimes they are just my own personal narrative essays of whatever I felt like writing about that week. And of course, you can also find me on all the other socials, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, wherever you are, I probably am too. Okay, till the next one, I'm your host, Kamela Celeste, signing off.